Never diminish the physicality of the 90s or diminish the physicalities of the 80s. And it was a different era. And from a business perspective, it was. And you can make the argument that the softening of the NBA, as Stephen A. called it, has been really good for the league, has been really good for the owners, and has been really good for the players. The revenues have gone consistently up. David Stern did a great job of deciding to market superstars. And then after the Malice in the Palace, he decided to get really strict about on-court and off-court behavior, and that has been good for the league's bottom line. That's the reality, Stephen.
Go ahead, Steve.
That's the reality, but that doesn't mean that Commissioner Stern, God rest his soul, all right, was absolutely correct in everything that he did, because let's understand what we're talking about here. You could have guys that'll get in a scuffle and just swing their arms at each other and then get each other's face, and that's a technical foul. You do find yourself saying sometimes, you got to be kidding me. I mean, it is a bit excessive, and it is a bit extreme. That's what we're talking about, the softening of the game. You're not going to be able to throw a punch. You're not going to, I mean, you're talking about people getting shoved.
But you want guys to be able to throw a punch, Stephen A? Is that what you want to see in an NBA Finals game?
You know, time out. You know better.
I'm asking you.
That's not what I'm saying. You know that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is...
So what do you want to see? You just don't want to see it technical. You just don't want to see it technical if guys are scuffling.
No. What I'm saying is if Draymond or another player is getting inside somebody's head, getting in their face, and antagonizing them, I don't think that should warrant a technical foul. As long as there's no fisticuffs, what's the problem? Being an irritant can mess with something. You got to be mentally strong just as well as physically, which you know better than me.
Game two. I don't know why we've spent 3 days talking about this. I really don't. It had zero impact on the game.
Because there were people complaining that Draymond Green. It wasn't me. It wasn't you.
And it's the same people that are complaining about the league getting soft.
JJ,
you can't have it both ways.
I got news for you. You don't get to talk and not listen, bro. You got to listen too. What I'm saying is that there were people who felt Draymond Green should have been ejected. We disagreed. But based on the way today's game is called, they're saying, where's the consistency? I disagree. I think that Draymond Green should have stayed in the game. Should not have been ejected. But there were people who were saying otherwise. That's why it was talked about.
And not only that, but if he did not already have a technical foul, they would have given double technicals to him and Jaylen Brown in that circumstance for sure. And they, as Jeff Van Gundy said on the telecast, selectively officiated the situation because they didn't want to throw him out of the game. And I'm fine with that so long as everyone else is fine with that. I think that the overriding point that we're making, no, not that anyone wants anyone to punch anyone in the playoffs, but there is a degree. The softening of the game, a lot of it comes from the constant complaining to the officials, the constant whining, the constant selling
Michael Jordan didn't complain to the officials.
Michael Jordan,
Larry Bird didn't. Come on, guys.
He wasn't selling calls.
This nostalgia that you have for the 80s and 90s, like a great era of basketball. It's awesome. But it's at the dispense of our generation of players, and it has been for the last 15 years. And it's annoying. That's annoying, Stephen.
That is a joke. That is a joke. You got to be clear. It's an absolute joke.
You know it's true, man.
It's not true. It's not true. Today, at the expense of today's players.
But the players in the 90s didn't complain. Gary Payton didn't complain.
Nobody said they didn't complain.
Come on, man.
We all know. We all know that Jordan complained. We all know that Magic complained. That's where you lose your argument. You can't find people that said Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, and others didn't complain. Magic Johnson and them were complaining all the time about
our generation of players complains, and that's
nobody said that.
Those guys didn't complain on
nobody
literally
said that.
Every single play when they did or didn't get a call. They also weren't selling.
Did you watch the Spurs dynasty? You're telling me Tim Duncan didn't complain all the time?
Well, that was a lot more recently than we're talking about.
That was the 90s.
Second of all, well, I mean, the dynasty really was in the 2000s.
And when he did, we complained about him complaining.
Huh? I didn't hear that.
When he did complain, we complained about him complaining. We told players stop whining back then, too.
There's also
so why should y'all be absolved from it?
The whole concept.
I'm not saying we should be absolved from it. I'm saying the standard that you guys have set, this nostalgic standard that you've set for players in the 80s and 90s, and then comparing us to it all the time, like we are a substandard to that, it gets annoying. And a lot of your arguments, like complaining to the officials, that's the same thing that players did back then. And if you want to watch finals games that are 75 to 72, by all means, have your nostalgic era, please.
No. The
Please.
nostalgic era that we're talking about, that we're lamenting, is not players complaining. Not me, anyway. What I'm saying is that the officials shouldn't be looking to tee up people and eject dudes just for getting in each other's face when obviously there's no fisticuffs taking place. And that's a problem. What are you talking about?
They didn't in game 2. They didn't in game 2.
Not in game 2, right.
Him.
I thought we were talking about the game. I didn't thought we were talking about game 2 now. I thought we were talking about the overall old era compared to now. That's where I thought you were when you brought up the other names.
The point is, they have made a lot of changes in the sport.
We comprehend what you're saying.
I'll see you in like an hour.
I'll see you.
Are
you sure? Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN Plus.